Hey everyone, what up? Kaiser here, and man, do I have something good to tell you today. Now, I've been recently playing a demo of an upcoming port of a game known as Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Now, what is that game exactly? Now, that game is actually the latest entry in the long-running Dragon Quest series, a long-running turn-based JRPG series made by the one and only Square Enix. And the Definitive Edition is actually a port, was actually, an enhanced version of the original Dragon Quest XI, which was actually released on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the thing with Dragon Quest XI is that that game was released back in 2017 on Nintendo 3DS, PS4, and Microsoft Windows PC. But then later they actually made it Definitive Edition, adding more content, all that stuff. But it was only a Nintendo Switch exclusive, which means while you can play all the extra stuff in what's been added to the full game, it was only limited by the Nintendo Switch. So if you didn't have a Nintendo Switch and you only played Dragon Quest 11 or was new to it and you wanted to get it but you didn't have a Switch, then yeah, accessibility was a bit rough. But thankfully Square Enix actually did announce that they were going to actually port that version, the Switch version of that Definitive Edition, to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And they actually planned to do it around December, not before, while they just this week gave us a demo, a 10-hour long demo, and I've been playing it for myself on my Xbox One, and I have to say, wow, is this game so much fun. So where do I even begin? I just say, when it comes to visuals, the game looks absolutely amazing. Now, of course, this was made by the Unreal Engine 4, which a lot of games nowadays that use that engine absolutely looks phenomenal, like Crash 4, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Code Vein, and also Borderlands 3, and upcoming games like Scarlet Nexus, Tales of Rise, and SMTV. Just Unreal Engine 4 is just like a technical marvel, and Dragon Quest XI-S Definitive Edition looks absolutely phenomenal. Yes, I know that there was some bit of low resolution, that since it is coming from the Switch, which, as we know, isn't as powerful as the Xbox One or PC or PS4. But for what it is, it actually looks phenomenal. The details on the character models look absolutely great, and the opening cinematic looks jaw-dropping with the opening cutscene as well. Oh my god. As for the story actually seems pretty interesting. I won't tell you what happens in it or why I played for it, but I have to say it actually got me invested in the characters, and I have to say it just really intrigues me. I do generally think that this is an interesting plot we got around here. As for the gameplay, it's actually pretty fun. I do myself, I played some turn-based JRPGs like Persona 3 FES and Trails of Cold Steel games, and Dragon Quest XI-S Definitive Edition has a pretty cool battle system regarded of it. And what else can I say? That, well, it just honestly looks pretty much fun, and honestly it has some of the charms of the classic JRPG, like the noises, the sound design, and all the music cues. Honestly, there's a lot of charm and love put into this game that really makes me it gives me a good time. And honestly, I really like the character designs, even though of course this was the designer was Akira Toriyama, which was the character designer for stuff like Dragon Ball and Chrono Trigger, so it does look a little bit like Dragon Ball, but even still, I would still appreciate on how the characters look and how the game played, and I have to say it ran pretty smoothly. But however, there were some things that I wasn't a fan of. like, for example, like again, since this came from the Switch, the resolution isn't really that high. Like there's some bits that look a little bit, how do I say it, a little bit pixelated and just, badly textured in some areas, and some of the loadouts weren't really that impressive. And the soundtrack, while I think the soundtrack isn't that bad, I wouldn't say it is truly great. Like I was expecting like something, but somehow the trumpets on some of the music they played just really put me out of the experience for a bit. But over time I did get used to the soundtrack, but as initial thoughts of it, I don't think like it's like making me saying like this is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Like I think the soundtrack is okay at the moment, but I think later on if I do play it more, I'll get used to it. Other things it has like side quests and all that stuff, like they're all pretty standard. It's just what JRPGs normally do. What else? And I have to also say that it has actually a pretty cool thing where once you play like the demo, like it'll transfer all the save data from that one to the full game, which is actually pretty genius, because since this demo has been like 10 hours long, which depending on your playstyle is like, wow, like that's a lot compared to like even some full games which go for like what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Like what? Oh my god. Like if that demo is quite long, then I could imagine like the full game like being just one big like massive game just to complete through. Like oh my god, there will probably be so much to do in that game. And also just honestly I had pretty much fun time with it. Like I spent about 6 or 7 hours playing it, so I haven't played it fully yet, so my opinions might change, but I have to say I'm having a good time. I think I'm definitely going to get this on December when it comes out on the Xbox One. Like I know it's only available on Switch, but honestly, since this game is coming on both the PC, Xbox One as well as PS4 at roughly around like $54 or slightly more, I think that's pretty good value considering the fact that the Switch version costs a lot more on Nintendo eShop. So I'm glad that they're able to sell this game at a very much considerable price, as like instead of charging full price for just like remasters of definitive editions, like mostly what Square does. Looking at you, Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, that's it all for today. Like I know this was a short video, but I have to say I'm really impressed of what Dragon Quest 11S Definitive Edition has done, and I honestly can't wait to play the entire demo fully and then try and out the main game. Like, oh man, I guess this is pretty much a fun game. So guys, that's about it for me. So thanks for watching. So punch that like button, drop down a comment, and click that subscribe button if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Mad Kaiser out.